You've probably heard people say you can grow tomatoes, basil, and lettuce in containers. But what if I told you there are edible plants out there that are far more surprising, way more unique, and perfectly suited for small spaces? Today we're diving into 7 unusual edible plants that most gardeners don't even realize they can grow in pots, on balconies, or even on a sunny windowsill. These aren't just your everyday vegetables. Some of them will absolutely shock you. And stick with me because plant number 2, that one is guaranteed to blow your mind. Let's get started. But before we jump into the list, if you love discovering new gardening ideas and creative ways to grow more food in less space, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon. That way you'll never miss a new video. And trust me, I've got plenty of tips, tricks, and plant discoveries coming your way that you won't want to miss. So why should you even consider growing unusual plants in containers? Well, first, they save space. If you don't have a big backyard, these plants give you the power to grow fresh, nutritious food right on your balcony, patio, or doorstep. Second, the flavors and nutrition you'll get are unlike anything you'll find at the grocery store. We're talking about unique tastes, rich vitamins, and plants that are as ornamental as they are edible. And finally, let's be honest, growing something your neighbors or friends have never even heard of, that's just fun. We'll be counting down from number 7 all the way to number 1, and trust me, you're going to want to see the entire list. Coming in at number 7 is a plant you've probably never even heard of. Strawberry spinach. Yes, you heard that right. It's a plant that gives you both edible greens and little red berry-like fruits all from the same container. And here's the kicker. Most people have no idea it even exists. The leaves look a lot like regular spinach, tender and mild in flavor, and you can toss them into salads or sauté them just like the greens you're used to. But then, as the plant matures, it starts producing clusters of bright red jewel-like berries that look like raspberries. They're not as sweet as strawberries, but they add a subtle, earthy sweetness that make them perfect for garnishes, smoothies, or just as a fun snack straight off the plant. And because it's compact, strawberry spinach is perfect for container gardening. You don't need a giant pot. A medium-sized container with good drainage will do the trick. It thrives in well-drained soil, loves a spot with full sun to partial shade, and because it doesn't demand much space, you can even tuck it alongside their other container plants without any issues. This is one of those plants that doubles as both ornamental and edible. Imagine having pots filled with lush green leaves and then, out of nowhere, they're dotted with these eye-catching red berries. Guests will ask, "What on earth is that?" And you'll get to surprise them with, "Oh, it's my strawberry spinach. Want to try one?" It's quirky, it's easy, and it's a total conversation starter. Plus, you're harvesting 2 crops from one plant. For small space gardeners, that's a huge win. And don't worry if you're new to growing. It's forgiving and doesn't require much more care than your everyday greens. So, would you grow strawberry spinach in your garden? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear if this unusual little plant makes it onto your must-try list. At number 6, we've got a plant that instantly transforms your cooking and fills your garden with a fragrance you'll never forget: lemongrass. Now, most people think of this as a tropical plant that only grows in large gardens or farms, but here's the secret. Lemongrass absolutely thrives in containers. In fact, some gardeners prefer to keep it in pots because it helps control its clumping growth and makes it easy to harvest whenever you need it. Picture this: a sleek, tall grass with slender green blades that sway in the breeze. When you rub the leaves between your fingers, you get this burst of fresh, citrusy aroma, like lemon and lime combined. It's not just ornamental, it's incredibly practical. You can harvest the stalks for Thai curries, soups, and teas, or even use it to flavor grilled dishes. And here's a bonus: lemongrass has natural mosquito repelling properties. So if you're placing your containers on a patio or balcony, you're getting beauty, flavor, and a bit of natural pest control all in one pot. The best part? Lemongrass is surprisingly easy to grow. All you need is a medium to large container, a well-draining potting mix, and a sunny spot. Water it consistently, don't let the soil completely dry out, and you'll see it grow into these dense green clumps. With just a little bit of care, you'll be cutting fresh stalks whenever you want, straight from your balcony or windowsill. And here's something else most people don't realize. Beyond the kitchen, lemongrass has medicinal uses. You can brew it into a calming tea that aids digestion, or even use the essential oils for relaxation and aromatherapy. So it's not just food for your plate, it's food for your body and mind. Imagine being able to pick your own lemongrass, drop it into a steaming pot of soup, or steep it in hot water for tea, all without running to the store. That's the beauty of growing it in containers. You get convenience, freshness, and a little piece of the tropics right outside your door. Coming in at number 5 is a plant you've probably only seen as a spice on a grocery store shelf: turmeric. Most people think it's too exotic or complicated to grow at home, but here's the exciting part. Turmeric actually loves being grown in containers, and it rewards you with both beautiful foliage and those golden orange roots that are packed with flavor and health benefits. When you first plant turmeric, you'll notice it doesn't look like much, just a rhizome, very similar to ginger. But give it time, and it grows into a lush, tropical-looking plant with broad green leaves that can make your balcony or patio look like a little jungle corner. Even if you didn't harvest a single root, it's ornamental enough to be worth growing. But of course, the real magic happens underground. Turmeric does take patience. You'll need to let it grow for about 8 to 10 months before you can harvest those golden rhizomes. But the payoff is worth it. Imagine pulling up your own homegrown turmeric, rinsing off that rich orange color and grating it fresh into curries, soups, or even smoothies. The flavor is vibrant, earthy, and far more powerful than the powdered version from the store. And let's not forget the health benefits. Turmeric is famous as a superfood, thanks to curcumin, its anti-inflammatory compound. People use it to boost immunity, support joint health, and even as a natural remedy in teas and tonics. Growing it at home means you know exactly where it came from. No pesticides, no additives, just pure turmeric from your own container garden. Now, how do you grow it? You'll want a large pot or grow bag filled with rich, well-draining soil. Place it in a warm, sunny spot and keep the soil consistently moist but not waterlogged. As it grows, you can even use the leaves to wrap and steam foods, a traditional cooking method in many cultures. Turmeric is one of those plants that makes you feel like a pro gardener when you harvest it. It's not common in most home gardens, especially in small spaces, which makes it a real conversation piece. Friends will be amazed when you say, "Oh, this curry? I made it with turmeric I grew on my balcony." So, what would you use your homegrown turmeric for first? Cooking, teas, or maybe even homemade remedies? Drop your answer in the comments because I'd love to hear your ideas. Number 4 might surprise you: sweet potatoes. Most people imagine they need a huge garden bed to grow them, but the truth is, sweet potatoes absolutely thrive in containers. All you need is a large pot or a grow bag, and you can harvest both the nutrient-rich greens and the tubers underground. Here's the fun part: the leaves are edible. Yes, those trailing vines with heart-shaped leaves aren't just pretty, they're delicious. You can sauté them like spinach, toss them into stir-fries, or add them to soups. They're tender, mild, and packed with vitamins A and C, plus iron and calcium. Growing sweet potatoes gives you a dual harvest: fresh greens throughout the season and sweet, starchy roots at the end. When grown in containers, sweet potatoes also double as an ornamental plant. Those vines spill over the edges of pots, adding a lush, decorative touch to patios and balconies. By the time harvest rolls around, you'll not only have enjoyed their beauty, but you'll dig up your own sweet, golden tubers. Proof that small spaces can yield big rewards. To grow them, start with slips or young shoots, plant them in loose, well-draining soil, and make sure your container is at least 15 to 20 gallons. They need plenty of sun and regular watering, but the process is simple, even for beginners. The vines will grow fast, and if you let them trail up a trellis or spill down a balcony, you'll get both food and beauty in one. There's something incredibly satisfying about tipping over a grow bag at the end of the season and finding it packed with sweet potatoes you raised yourself. It's one of those wow gardening moments that really makes container growing magical. So let me ask you, would you grow sweet potatoes more for the roots or for the edible greens? Share your answer in the comments, because I'm curious which part excites you more. Coming in at number 3 is a little plant that tastes like summer sunshine in a bite: ground cherries. Now, don't confuse these with regular cherries. Ground cherries are part of the tomato family, but they produce small, golden fruits wrapped in delicate paper-like husks, almost like little lanterns. These fruits are sweet and tangy, with flavors often described as a cross between pineapple, mango, and vanilla. They're unlike anything you can buy at the average grocery store, and that's what makes them so exciting to grow at home. Pop them out of their husks and eat them fresh, toss them into fruit salads, bake them into pies, or even make a unique jam that will wow your friends and family. Ground cherries are also perfect for container gardening because the plants stay relatively compact. A medium-sized pot with good soil and plenty of sun is all they need. They'll start producing little lantern-like husks that gradually dry out and reveal golden fruits inside. It's almost like unwrapping candy straight from the plant. Kids especially love ground cherries, not just because of the sweet taste, but because harvesting feels like a treasure hunt. You shake the plant, see which husks drop to the soil, and inside each one is a perfectly ripe, bite-sized fruit. It's fun, it's interactive, and it keeps you coming back to the pot day after day. Nutritionally, they're rich in vitamin C, antioxidants, and fiber, so they're as healthy as they are tasty. Plus, since they're not commonly sold in stores, growing your own gives you access to a gourmet fruit right outside your door. Ground cherries are the kind of plant that gets you hooked on gardening because they're low maintenance, high reward, and so unique that visitors will definitely ask, "What are those little lanterns hanging from your pots?" So, here's my question for you. Have you ever tasted a ground cherry before? If yes, did you love it? And if not, would you be willing to try growing them in your container garden? Let me know down below. At number 2, we have a real showstopper: okra. Now, most people would never imagine growing okra in a container. They think it needs a big patch of land in a hot climate. But here's the secret. With a deep pot and plenty of sun, okra will happily thrive on a balcony or patio, and it'll reward you with stunning flowers and delicious pods. If you've never seen an okra flower before, you're in for a treat. They look like little hibiscus blooms, creamy yellow petals with a deep purple center. Honestly, they could be grown just as ornamentals. But then, those flowers transform into slender green pods, which you can harvest young for tender, tasty okra that cooks beautifully in stir-fries, soups, and classic dishes like gumbo. Okra plants love the heat, so place your container in the sunniest spot you have. Use a pot that's at least 5 gallons and deep enough for its long taproot. Give it regular watering, and you'll see pods forming just a few days after the flowers bloom. The more you pick, the more the plant produces, so it keeps giving throughout the season. Beyond being delicious, okra is packed with fiber, vitamin C, and antioxidants. It's one of those foods that not only fills your plate, but also supports your health in a big way. And here's another bonus. Because the flowers are so striking, okra doubles as a conversation piece. Neighbors might see your container and think you're growing tropical ornamentals, until you hand them a basket of homegrown okra pods. And finally, taking the number 1 spot on our list is a plant that every container gardener should know about: Malabar spinach. Now, don't let the name fool you. This isn't spinach at all. It's a climbing, vining green that absolutely thrives in hot weather, where regular spinach would bolt and wither. And in containers, it's a total superstar. Here's what makes it special. Malabar spinach grows vertically. That means instead of spreading across your limited container space, it climbs up, a trellis or support, giving you a tall, lush wall of glossy green leaves. It's perfect for small balconies or patios because it uses vertical space instead of floor space. The leaves themselves are thick, juicy, and slightly mucilaginous, similar to okra in texture. They're loaded with vitamins A and C, iron and calcium, making them an incredible leafy green for soups, stir-fries, and curries.
In fact, in many Asian cuisines, Malabar spinach is a staple summer green because it can handle the heat when most greens can't. And it's not just practical. It's beautiful. The vines produce striking red-purple stems and sometimes little clusters of wider pink flowers, which eventually turn into dark purple berries. So while you're harvesting fresh greens, you're also growing a plant that's ornamental enough to decorate your balcony. To grow it, all you need is a medium to large container with a trellis or some netting for a decline. Give it full sun, water regularly, and watch it take off. Once it starts vining, you'll have more fresh greens than you can keep up with. And the best part? The more you harvest, the more it grows back. Malabar spinach is the ultimate container crop because it's unusual, productive, and incredibly resilient. It turns limited space into an endless supply of food and beauty. Honestly, it's one of those plants that once you try it, you'll wonder why you didn't grow it sooner.
So let me ask you, would you replace your regular spinach with Malabar spinach, especially in the summer months? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. All right, let's do a quick recap of these 7 unusual container plants. At number 7, we had strawberry spinach, giving you both edible greens and jewel-like berries. Number 6, lemongrass, fragrant, flavorful, and even a natural mosquito repellent. Number 5, turmeric, the golden superfood hiding in plain sight right in your container. Number 4, sweet potatoes, giving you both tender greens and sweet tubers. Number 3, ground cherries, little husked treasures that taste like tropical candy. Number 2, okra, with stunning flowers and delicious pods. And finally, number 1, Malabar spinach, the heat-loving, climbing green that's perfect for vertical gardening. Each of these plants isn't just unusual, they're practical, beautiful, and perfect for small spaces. So no matter how tiny your garden is, you can still harvest unique, nutrient-packed foods right from your balcony, patio, or even a sunny window. Now, I want to hear from you. Which one of these 7 plants caught your attention the most? Was it the quirky strawberry spinach, the tropical vibe of lemongrass, or maybe the powerhouse Malabar spinach? Drop your answer down below. And if you've actually grown any of these before, tell us how it went. Your tips and stories might inspire someone else to give it a try. And here's a fun challenge. Pick just one plant from this list and commit to growing it this season. Comment, "I'm in," and let me know which one you're choosing. I will be pinning some of your responses and checking back to see how your garden experiments go. Also, don't forget to share this video with a friend who loves gardening or someone who says they don't have space to grow food. Show them what's possible, because sometimes all it takes is the right plant and the right container to get started. So there you have it, 7 unexpected edible plants you can grow in containers. If you enjoyed this video and you want to keep learning more about container gardening and unusual plants, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on future videos. And if you're ready for the next step, check out my video right here, where I'll walk you through how to set up a small space container garden from scratch, soil, pots, and everything you need to know to get started. Trust me, it'll make growing these unusual plants even easier. Thanks so much for watching. Happy gardening, and I'll see you in the next one.